Is it going to be Kildara? Kildara off the bat versus Droog. Immediately going to go for a bit of that Guardian. Looks like there's a little bit of lag either on my end or either for my man Droog. As Kildara tried to see if he could fight through him, like the last, he immediately took inside of it, tried to see if they could push the Fury Warrior offensive. As long as they could stay on top of their target, they could chip away the defenses little by little. Kildara is able to counter a lot of the damage with Bloodthirst healing, as well as with Impending Victories, but looks like they might have got knocked in a bad situation. Looks like they want to go for a bit of a reset behind the pillar, at least just to get Droog to go out in the open, especially during that Ascendance. It's going to lock him down for a second. Mad damage out of Droog, got himself Ghost Raptors at the ready. Kildara taking lots of hits by the elemental damage. All the lightning bolts are gonna hurt. Burrow for a second, knocking Kildara up into the air for a second, but Droog may need to find another way to disconnect away from Kildara. Maybe a little bit of lackfest for him right now, so might be in a bit of a disadvantage, but looks like he's stripping away defenses off Kildara. Got himself Reflect in order to reflect a Frost Shock. Light the last, giving him a bit of a breather while also helping him recover a little bit of health with that totem. Actually, both of their health values are very, very close to one another. Kildara does catch up a little bit more health. Droog a bit behind. Could be in a bad spot. I think it just maybe lag took him down. It looked like at the end the man had to stop moving because he's out of options. That or he's lagging so badly he can't really respond much. That is super unfortunate. I think Kildara at some point did realize, like, wait a second, maybe the man's not having an easy time right now. Gonna be Troll up next from one Shaman to the next, and Kildara is just gonna keep the same strategy from the last Shaman. Where's the offensive? Not let Troll catch up. Any opportunity to recover is gonna be a Guardian Spirit immediately for Troll. Like the last one to Kildara, nothing they can do. Does Troll have enough damage to follow up? Root to follow into Kildara. Ice Fury get hit with a fear for just a second. Kildara does not have a defensive for this one. Maybe in a lot of trouble. Trial isn't exactly healthy either, but the Frost Shocks, Earth Shocks is going to help him separate from Kildara. It's going to go for the Avatar to break out of the room, but that's going to be another Root Reflect to follow Leaper after. Is there any healing available for Kildara? Does go for a stun on the Trial, get another charge to catch up. Does become an Impending Victory. It's going to give him quite a lot of recovery. Trying to see if he can find a way to mitigate the knockback. Big Lava Burst flying in. I don't think Trial got himself the proc he was hoping for the Lava Burst. Earth Shocks to follow. Earth Shock, Frost Shocks are going to be deadly. Kildara does end up catching up quite a bit of healing within. Rage code back up little by little. Trial trying to see if he can shake the warrior off of their back, trinket for the light. The less Trial may be in a bit of trouble right now. Is going to go for a bit of a burrow. Has a wall in case he's ever in a bad spot. Stone to follow, try to see if he can catch up with these roots, man. The totems and knockbacks. There's so much raw control that a Shaman brings to the arena, especially against melee classes. It is crazy. Just throwing him around like a tennis ball all over the arena, man. Does not let him play the game whatsoever. Frost Shock reflecting back at Troll. That could be pretty good for Kildara. They are taking back-to-back Earth Shocks, Frost Shocks over and over and over, though, so it could be bad for them, too. Does go for the bleed onto Trial. Looks like it's not doing nearly as much damage as Kildara was hoping. Light Nalasa, no way out. Does get himself the Spore Cloak in order to give him a little bit of that protection of the Lone Niffin from the Underdark. Stun onto Trial. Does Kildara have any opportunity to win this one? Does get himself yet another Avatar Reflected. Frost Shock back to Root onto Trial as they're going for the wall. Kildara taking a bit of damage. Fear onto Trial as they're starting to ramp up some damage. Trying to wait out until the not Ancestral Guidance, is the until Phase Shift. Right? Astral Shift is gone until the wall for Shaman is entirely gone. Big Architects into Kildara could be going down right here. Do they have any more healing? Somehow they're able to catch up a little bit of health. Charge. It's going to be a Root to follow right after. Let's go for a Stormbolt. It's going to be a Trinket out of Trial Reflect now for Kildara. Root, it looks like it wasn't able to be reflected whatsoever. Healing Charges for Trial. Trying to go for Lava Burst. Frost Shocks, Earth Shocks back to back onto Kildara. Looks like they're DR the Roots entirely, but the Earth Shocks does end up collapsing all around them, burying the warrior alive either way. Though with Kioska get hit with an immediate freezer trap as soon as they're going in for grenades at a Trial. A bit of a rematch between these two as Trial trying to see if he can get himself an Ice Fury prep ahead of time using the pets of Kioska in order to get himself a decent go from this one. But the Fire Elemental is actually going to add quite a bit of extra pressure onto Kioska, trying to see if he can get out of that situation, but the Lava Burst and Earth Shocks collapsing together just for a handful of seconds for Trial. Gives him an opportunity to at least establish some kind of pressure versus the Survival Hunter. Kiosk is still holding on to a lot of his coolness, but it looks like coordinates hold this up. That's going to be a big kill shots back to back. Grenades are doing a lot of work, also giving a lot of resources. But that knockup is going to be bad, but it ends up running into a freezing trap off of that knockup. Into yet another charge by Kiosk. I think it was maybe a Harpoon. There's going to be yet another knockup again onto Kiosk as he goes in for a feign death to remove any of those dots. Trial seeing the Survival Hunter go behind the pillar. He's just going to go for a little bit of self-heal. Root onto Kiosk does end up breaking out of it with Master's Call. Trying to go for first aid, but these Flame Shocks are not letting him do anything whatsoever. And actually, Kioska not in a great health. I think Battlemaster Trinket might have ended up taking out on him. Earthquakes back to back. Freezer Trap is going to be trial off of that Tar Trap to follow. Still has all those Earthquakes out to Kioska. Can't really go anywhere right now. Kioska's taking all that passive damage. Is going to be in a bad spot. Long-term Frost Shock to catch him. Angel knocked down for a second. Oh my god. Flame Shock rolling a fresh one. I think it might be over for Kioska. Trying to go for many, but it's just they're not healing for anything whatsoever. Earthquake still. Oh, just Frost Shock at the end. A 20%, 7% dampening. Even that Manic Advantage wasn't able to start helping recover whatsoever. Nod Zomi. I'm gonna mess up your name. Every time I see your name, I don't know why. My brain defaults to Nozdormo. Nod Zami is going to be up next. Trial with the Trinket. It's going to go for a Hex onto Nod. To a root to follow onto the Zuen as well. Try to catch up a little bit of healing as Nod does end up giving up the Trinket really early on. Charles trying to see the compression Nod with Earth Shocks, Frost Shocks, and maybe even force the Karma out of the guy. Nod is going to back up out. Actually going to pour it out towards the back of the arena. Towards the back of their starting zone. As Trial tried to push in the offensive. Nod does not have line of sight for a good bit into a port. Does not put him behind a pillar or anything. It's going to be a Karma. This is where Trial just needs to wait it out. Is going to go for a Hex, just establish extra control into Nod, especially since he got Karma as well as Dampen Harm rolling at the same time. Lightning Bolt around the corner, not catching up, a little bit of healing. Try to see if he can find some cover. There's a Frost Shock that's going to stop in place. Lava Burst is going to be flying from a Primordial Ink Cap. It's going to be Fire Elemental join in, adding a little bit extra damage with the whole Meteor crashing onto Nod. This is going to be a Ring of Peace. Try to see if he can boot him out of there. Trial, try to see if he can catch up and maybe get himself a big Lava Burst sent in. They're just going in. Is not trying to catch himself yet another reset behind another platform. The man is just trying to find him some kind of cover away from the Shaman who's just barraging him from a distance. It's going to be a knockback, put him out in the open, try to see if he can mitigate it, but that's going to be immediate freeze to follow with slows right after. Ice Fury, that's going to be a lot of instant cast for Thrall right now. There's nothing Nod can really do. Earth Shocks and Frost Shocks are going to do a lot of work, just not able to play the game whatsoever, and does end up going down. That is super unfortunate. He tried his very, very, very best, man, but LA Shaman right now, it is godlike. 40% dampening, Mortal Strike together. Trial isn't going to find a lot of healing, so he's going to have to be very, very careful versus Salrion. He does have the ability to knock him around all over the place. He does have the roots and everything, so he's going to have to play super, super carefully. Knockback yet again as Reflect is out for Salrion. Does go down for the banner. He's going to try to see if he can take down the banner very, very quickly. Big Executes on the Trial. Does get himself big Ascendants to follow, as well as Sky Fury. Earth Shocks, Frost Shocks maybe could be a big combo. Got himself lots of lightning bolts flying down Salrion. Actually got himself parry up right now. 30% damage reduction. Trying to see if he can deal with that magic damage as best as possible. Earth Shocks and Frost Shocks are going to be deadly to him, though, unless he's got himself another Blaze Storm or another way out of the situation. He might be in a bad spot into a Reflect up, as it is going to be a Spore Cloak procket for him. One of the last bashes of defense of this guy. He does have a Rally Cry, maybe even a Battlemaster Trinket to give him a little bit more health to work with. Does end up locking down on Trial in a good spot where even a knockback will not send him flying super far away. But a Light Lasso does give Trial a little bit of a breather, and also puts Chowry South in a bit of a jeopardy yet again. Got himself a shielding. As long as he's got Rage, he can always use that into an Ignore Pain to ignore some of the damage, 50% of it to a certain degree. Reflect up, but isn't really able to reflect a Frost Shock whatsoever. Does get rooted out. Ice Fury to follow as Trial got him some mobility while casting. Chowry cannot really counter this whatsoever. All he's got is a Blaze Storm. Shot about last second. Charging him with a Stormbolt. Trial just needs one more global, and he could take him down right then and there. Earth Shock, Frost Shock, taking him out. Nothing the man could really do. He tried his very, very best too. Chowry is one of the masters of arms warrior. Masters of the weapons, dude. Master of the blade. And even in that situation, like, you just get tossed around like a beanbag by an elemental shaman. What do you do in that situation, man? Full set of armies of demons is established. Maybe the totem can catch some of them, but it's going to be Axos around the corner. It's going to go for a knockback, trying to line aside the demons the best you can, at least line asiding the tyrant as well as fast kills. Try to control the other demons as best as possible, but it's kind of in a bad spot right now. Looking to push into fast kills, try to isolate him away from any of the pets. Lava Burst is going to be huge. Trying to go for an interrupt, doesn't quite connect, and Charles just trying to see if he can find himself a bit of a breather. Yet more pets to get rid of on the right side, and left hand just ends up disappearing. So for fast kills, this could be a tough situation. Does still hold on to a wall. He got himself the Axos, so he could be in a decent spot either way though. Maybe. It all depends how you plays it. Gonna try to see if he can rip the soul out of Trial, reducing his damage as well as his healing, but 25%. Mortal Coil to follow does end up going for Trinket. Fastskill's trying to utilize that soul rip in order to give himself a little bit of damage, a little bit of counter pressure, at least a little bit more demon summoned up so he can have himself at least passive damage versus Trial. Defense do charge back in. Burrow to follow. Fastskill's super low, but so is Trial. It's gonna go for recovery. Try to go for recovery. Shadow Fury around the corner does not connect. Light Lasso force a Trinket out of it. Fastskills have no help whatsoever. I think Thrall may just be able to take it down right now. Doesn't have taken it. Oh my goodness, 1v5 by this man. Honestly, I felt like you were gonna die at any moment. 10 million damage, this guy. Look at that on the dot, 10 milli. Oh wow, that is so strong.